The Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria hosted a press briefing with capital market correspondents on the outcome of the Q2 2019 capital market meeting on Thursday, August 22nd. Chaired by the Acting Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ms. Mary Uduk, it was an opportunity for her to give updates on the developments in the capital markets, including the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the National Finance Intelligence Unit to tackle fraud in the market ecosystem.
As we all know, the government inaugurated the board of the Securities and Exchange Commission in June 2019. The board, under the leadership of Mr. Olufemi Elijadu, comprises distinguished individuals with diverse expertise and experiences, which would be of immense benefit to the Commission and the progress of the Nigerian capital market in general. We also signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to curb and combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and fraud in the capital market.
She also highlighted some of the key resolutions from the Q2 2019 capital market meeting.
Given the importance of the recommendations of the FinTech Roadmap Committee and the need for timely implementation, the Commission will be setting up a FinTech Roadmap Working Group to drive the implementation. This new committee will also be headed by Mr. Ade Bajomo. We also use the platform of the meeting to reiterate our support for FinTech in the Nigerian capital market. The meeting was briefed on the Commission's efforts to engage and guide FinTech startups that seek to operate in the Nigerian capital market. Capital market operators were therefore urged to embrace FinTech not as competitor, but as enablers to their existing operations and processes. The Commission noted the challenges posed to the market over the uncertainty around the collection of stamp duties between FIRS and NIPOST. We informed the market of the SEC and CAMIC advocacy engagements with the Office of the Vice President and the Federal Ministry of Finance to resolve this issue. We expect this to be resolved very soon, as well as our request to exempt equities transactions from VAT payments. Further updates we received from the technical committees as follows. 1. The Commodities Trading Ecosystem Committee informed the meeting of its proposed roundtable on the commodities ecosystem with key stakeholders slated for 3rd October 2019. The committee also reported the commencement of a quarterly bulletin by the Commission focusing on issues in the commodities market. It further raised the need for collaboration between SEC and relevant stakeholders to develop a certification framework for collateral managers. In the report of the Non-Interest Finance Committee, we learned of the ongoing conversations with the African Development Bank to issue Sukuk under an existing issuance program. The market was also informed of the existence of an Islamic Finance Forum portal, where operators could visit to obtain necessary information on information financial products. The committee is also in discussion with the Debt Management Office on the possibility of issuing short-term Sharia-compliant papers as part of the periodic Nigerian Treasury bills issuances. After extensive discussions, listed below are some of the resolutions taken at the meeting. 1. SEC to invite NIDA to the next Capital Market Committee meeting to make presentation on the impact of the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation on the capital markets. The Commission to engage CBN to include EDMMS charges in the guideline for bank charges. C. Trade groups to report to the Commission on the level of compliance of their respective members to the directive that all CMOs must be registered with their respective trade groups. Brokers and registrars are required to make available to the committee on multiple subscription accounts on a periodic basis the number of regularized accounts. SEC to engage with relevant stakeholders on e-dividend and multiple subscription accounts concerning the following. 1. Ensuring that complete investor data are transferred among operators such as brokers, registrars, and CSCS. Discouraging unclaimed dividends from building up from securities of newly listed companies. Developing the modalities for validating register of members where the registrars are furnished with incomplete information such as missing account numbers. We believe the capital market of our dreams can only be achieved through collaboration of all stakeholders. The role of the media in disseminating information and enlightening the public on initiatives currently being implemented in the market is critical. We therefore crave your indulgence to continue supporting us through your various platforms. Thank you very much for listening.
The briefing featured a Q&A session with the acting DG and members of the SEC board participating.
As at the time of our last CMC, a standalone curriculum had been developed for the introduction of capital market in secondary schools. Now, following the development of the standalone curriculum, there is need to infuse it in certain number of subjects that are taken or studied in secondary school. So the workshop that took place 1-2 weeks ago was the next phase to now infuse the curriculum that was approved into a number of subjects. So subjects include mathematics, accounting, business, about 6 to 10 subjects in the secondary school. The workshop has held. The infusion workshops, both planning as well as critique, has been completed, and we are looking forward. The next option that will take place is the development of the teacher's guide. So the SEC is driving that project satisfactorily, and before the end of this year, it's expected that the capital market studies in schools will have been active.
The securities market is very, very different from the money market. So is the operations. So is the entering points and levels. And that is why if parents want to buy stocks for the children, you have to buy your name. You have to buy, even when you get to the bank to want to do that, it has to be your name. Maybe hyphen the child. And then at the normal age, you can then transfer. So that is why today, the NEDRC is, the commission is working with NEDRC to be able to give this education, to drive down this education to children in primary schools, not just as in getting them to understand securities market because it will take a while, at least infusing those subjects, those words, those understandings about the capital market so they grow up to understand the way you and I were not given the opportunity to understand.
It is expected that at the end of the third quarter of 2019, significant progress would have been made by SEC Nigeria in the e-dividend mandate, with increased momentum in the implementation of the Capital Market Master Plan, the FinTech Roadmap, Capital Market Studies Curriculum, and continuous engagement with government to address the issues of VAT and stamp duties on capital market transactions.